Good morning, Panthers. Happy Wednesday. I wanted to hop on here and do a read aloud for you. And a lot of times I've talked to you about how children's books help inspire me. They help me process things that are happening around me. They help me think about my feelings and reflect. They're a great way to really get in and help process everything that's around you right now. And so I chose today because I know that you might be hearing things that are happening in the community. You might be hearing things on the news, maybe from your friends, your family, maybe even strangers. And sometimes news can be hopeful and good and bring relief to things that we've been encountering and battling for so long. Other times, news might be scary. It might bring fear or worry, anxiety. And so I want you to know that no matter what you're feeling, or when you're feeling it, you have a lot of people who love you and support you and are here for you. You have your family at home, you have your family here at school, your teachers, your office staff, me, Miss Calendar, so many people that are here to support you. We care about you and we want you to know that no matter what you're feeling, when you're feeling it, we're here to help. All right. So I picked a book today because we have been talking a lot about social justice and equity and the fight for rights for people, especially people of color. And so today I picked this book. It's called The Hill We Climb, and it's written by Amanda Gorman. You might remember Amanda Gorman. We talked about her during the presidential inauguration because here's a picture of her. So Amanda Gorman, she actually became the sixth and youngest poet at only age 22 to deliver a poetry reading at a presidential inauguration. She also is a committed activist. She works on the local, national, and international levels to advocate for the environment, for racial justice, and gender equality. And you not only have seen her at the presidential inauguration, but you may have seen her. She does a lot of shows for PBS and some of the things that you look at online and read. And so she has had a very similar past to what we have talked about here. She's had some struggles for sure, and she's overcome her struggles. And she wrote this poem and she delivered it during the inauguration. And I thought today was a perfect day because it's called The Hill We Climb. And we know that we've got a big hill to climb. And sometimes we make steps forward. Sometimes there are steps that are back. It's treacherous, it's difficult, but it's still an important hill that we climb. And so I picked this book today. And it says on January 20th, 2021, Amanda Gorman became the sixth and youngest poet to deliver a poetry reading at a presidential inauguration. Taking the stage after the 46th president of the United States, Joe Biden, Gorman captivated the nation and brought hope to viewers around the globe. Her poem, The Hill We Climb, an inaugural poem for the country, can now be cherished in this special edition. And Oprah Winfrey has given a foreword, which is something that happens at the beginning of books sometimes, where it kind of gives you a little background, a little lead, kind of a trailer into the book. And so Oprah Winfrey says, they don't come very often, these moments of incandescence, where the welter of pain and suffering gives way to hope, maybe even joy. We're a deep distress that has dogged our souls and shaken our faith, so difficult to articulate and even harder to bear. It's transformed into something clear and pure, where wisdom flows in cadences that sync with the thrum of our blood, the beat of our hearts, where grace and peace in human form take the measure, seeing where we've been and where we must go, lighting the way with her words. She was exactly what we've been waiting for, this, quote, skinny Black girl descended from slaves, showing us our true selves, our human heritage, our heart. Everyone who watched came away enhanced with hope and marveling at seeing the best of who we are and can be through the eyes and essence of a 22-year-old, our country's youngest presidential inaugural poet. As her words washed over us, they healed our wounds and resurrected our spirits. A nation, bruised but whole, climbed up off its knees. And finally, a miracle. We felt the sun pierce the never-ending shade. That is the power of poetry. And that is the power we collectively witnessed at the inauguration of President Joseph R. Biden on January 20th, 2021. The day Amanda Gorman, profoundly presenting her fullest, most radiant self, rose to the microphone, and the moment, giving us the gift, the hill we climb. And so in celebration of National Poetry Month as well, let's take a listen to Amanda's words. Mr. President and Dr. Biden, Madam Vice President and Mr. Emhoff, Americans and the world, when day comes, we ask ourselves, where can we find light in this never-ending shade? The loss we carry, a sea we must wade. We've braved the belly of the beast. We've learned that quiet isn't always peace, and that norms and notions of what just is isn't always justice. And yet the dawn is ours before we knew it. Somehow we do it. Somehow we've weathered and witnessed a nation that isn't broken, but simply unfinished. We, the successors of a country in a time where a skinny Black girl descended from slaves and raised by a single mother, can dream of becoming president, only to find herself reciting for one. And yes, we are far from polished, far from pristine, but this doesn't mean we're striving to form a union that is perfect. We are striving to forge our union with purpose. To compose a country committed to all cultures, colors, characters, and conditions of man. And so we lift our gazes not to what stands between us, but what stands before us. We close the divide because we know to put our future first, we must first put our differences aside. We lay down our arms so that we can reach our arms out to one another. We seek harm to none and harmony for all. Let the globe, if nothing else, say this is true, that even as we grieved, we grew, that even as we hurt, we hoped, that even as we tired, we tried, that we'll forever be tied together, victorious, not because we will never again know defeat, but because we will never again sow division. Scripture tells us to envision that everyone shall sit under their own vine and fig tree, and no one shall make them afraid. If we're to live up to our own time, then victory won't lie in the blade, but in all the bridges we've made. That is the promised glade. The hill we climb, if only we dare it. Because being American is more than a pride we inherit. It's the past we step into and how we repair it. We've seen a force that would shatter our nation rather than share it, would destroy our country if it meant delaying democracy. And this effort very nearly succeeded. But while democracy can be periodically delayed, it can never be permanently defeated. In this truth, in this faith we trust. For while we have our eyes on the future, history has its eyes on us. This is the era of just redemption. We feared it at its inception. We did not feel prepared to be the heirs of such a terrifying hour, but within it we found the power to author a new chapter, to offer hope and laughter to ourselves. So while once we asked, how could we possibly prevail over catastrophe? Now we assert, how could catastrophe possibly prevail over us? We will not march back to what was, but move to what shall be, a country that is bruised but whole, benevolent but bold, fierce and free. We will not be turned around or interrupted by intimidation because we know our inaction and inertia will be the inheritance of the next generation. Our blunders become their burdens, but one thing is certain. If we merge mercy with might and might with right, then love becomes our legacy and change our children's birthright. So let us leave behind a country better than the one we were left. With every breath from our bronze-pounded chests, we will raise this wounded world into a wondrous one. We will rise from the gold-limbed hills of the West. We will rise from the windswept Northeast, where our forefathers first realized revolution. We will rise from the lake-rimmed cities of the Midwestern states. We will rise from the sun-baked South. We will rebuild, reconcile, and recover in every known nook of our nation, in every corner called our country. Our people, diverse and dutiful, will emerge, battered but beautiful. When day comes, we step out of the shade, aflame and unafraid. The new dawn blooms as we free it, for there is always light, if only we're brave enough to see it, if only we're brave enough to be it. And that is The Hill We Climb. And so I want you to know that you matter. Your voice matters. Your words matter. You can help climb this hill and you can make a difference. And if you need anybody to talk to help process things, talk to your family, talk to us at school. All of us care about you. We're all here to help support you. All right. So I hope you have a great Wednesday. I can't wait to see cohort B tomorrow. And I can't wait to see cohort A and B returning back to school all together next Monday. All right. Take care, everyone. We'll talk to you soon.